What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Motley Croc Show. It's December 12th, so it's kind of like the day after Croc Fest, and it was a day after a really good party. We had a really good Christmas party we attended, so I'm kind of excited about that. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm hoping I'm coming through. If I'm coming through, throw it in the comments. I look forward to seeing everybody coming in, so I'll let it open up for a little bit with some music just to kind of like lift it up a little bit. I hope my sound is good. I'm getting some alerts now next to me, so it looks like something's coming through, I hope. Waiting on a couple of people to come in, which is good. I hope everybody had a great week, great weekend. The closer we get to Christmas, the crazier it gets. So I think tonight we'll be talking about monster crocodiles, big monster crocodiles, because there's a lot of them out there, and we had a couple conversation with that. What's up, Michael? How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Hope you can hear me great. He said I sound good, so that's good. That means we're coming through good. We'll be talking about any crazy shit we can. I'll be bringing on Brittany Barbieri again, and I think possibly we're going to have Jimmy Riffle coming in at 7:30. So Jimmy Riffle's going to come on at 7:30. What's up, Heidi? How you doing? And remember, you can watch us live on Facebook, or you can watch us live on YouTube, the Motley Croc Show, either or, whatever's better for you, whatever comes in different at that rate. Go there and check that out. So yeah, at 7:30, I think we'll be bringing in Jimmy Riffle. He's going to talk to us a little bit. We've had a lot of fun. We were out playing with the alligators and crocodiles and stuff yesterday at his place with a bunch of friends and family. It was really, really cool. I did not get to make Croc Fest this year. I had already other plans, and sometimes you just can't break them. And normally we don't do it on the 11th. It's always like the second weekend, and I don't know, it just worked out that way. But I hear it went really, really good, and I'm happy about that. So I haven't got any text messages yet. I'd like to hear from Flavio and see how well they did. I'm not sure what they accumulated yet, but I'm kind of hoping it's a good thing. Let's see here who's reaching out. Okay. Shoo. That's good. All right, let's see, Jimmy. Good. All right, yep. So Jimmy will be joining us at 7:30. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're just waiting on Brittany to come on in and stuff. So let's touch base on a few things that we had happen this week. For those of you that went, if you went to Croc Fest and you were there, put it in the comments. Let me know how it was. Let's talk about how that went, because that sounds like it was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of videos. It looked like there was a lot of competitions and a lot of really cool things. It was at Gatorland, so that's pretty cool. There's some big animals out there, and I'm sure everybody had a really good time. It's always fun when everybody gets together. Sometimes, because not everybody gets along well. Yeah, it's okay. It's like when you go to school, not everybody liked everybody, but it's all right. We all have to do that kind of stuff once in a while. Go out and try to get together and support each other and do our thing. Yeah, hold on here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's do a little invite here. Copy that one. Go down here and send something off to her so that we can get Brittany in here. Let's boom. There we go. She should be joining us pretty soon. There's that one there. And that went off. So I just sent that number to you, Brittany. So we look forward to seeing you on here. Hopefully that one worked. Yep, you betcha. So when she pops in, we'll bring her on and we'll talk about what was going on. There's a lot, man. So we want to talk about some. I know most people have talked about or watched or seen. I think there was a movie, Primeval, I think it was called, and it was about that big crocodile, Gustav. Man, that was like a pretty wild movie. I mean, they really animated the crocodile a little more than they probably. I mean, there were some good scenes in there, but if you know crocodiles and you understand how they work, they don't really work exactly like that. But it was enhanced, just like Lake Placid or whatever. But truth be told, there are some really big animals out there, and we were having a talk about this last week. If you take a saltwater crocodile and you take a Nile crocodile side by side, and just say they're both 14 feet, all day long, that Nile crocodile generally is a lot thicker. Really, I mean, it's just a more dense animal. Seems to be. Now, there have been sayings about it. I don't know if it's a fact or if it's an opinion, but anytime you see it, just Nile crocs are just giant. They're just big animals. Oh, let's see here. Yes. I'm on. Sorry. People have a tendency every time at this time to reach out, and they text me in my messenger on my phone and don't realize that we're already on. And so I see Brittany's coming into the green room here from let's see, WTF. I think we're being PC. So we're not going to say what that means. What WTF Paranormal stands for, I will let her tell you. I'll let her go ahead and tell you what that is exactly, and we'll go from there. But yeah, we were together last night. It was a lot of fun. So let me go ahead and bring her onto the stream. And boom, what's up, B?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry it took me a few minutes. I couldn't find the headphones that work for.
Oh, that's cool. Joseph, what's up, bro?
I'm still old school. I don't have a nice mic yet.
Yeah, but that's okay. You will. You'll get one when you grow up. I mean,
when
we all got to grow up sometime. Right, exactly. So how's everything been going? Did you reach out to Eddie? I'd like to talk to Eddie Hill again too. I'd love to bring him back on the show and really talk with him. So I think that would be really awesome if we could do that for sure.
I did. I messaged him. I haven't heard back anything yet, though. I don't know.
He's usually pretty busy though.
Yeah. Well, and now that the holidays too, he does, and he's filming. He's filming too, and I don't know if he's filming in Louisiana yet or not.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and he's doing all the whole thing about like the werewolves and the lichens and the whole history of all that in Orleans. So it's actually a really cool project. I was hoping that if he was available, he could come on and talk about it because it's going to be a pretty cool project.
Oh, really? So where are they filming at now? Say that again. Where are they filming?
New Orleans.
Oh man, I love it down there.
Yeah,
I love it down there.
Well, he told me that he wanted us to come down there to come see him and go down there. Hi, Heidi. What's up, Joseph?
Everybody's here, man. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So everybody's on so far, so it's good. Yeah, we're all right. Like I said, guys, I don't really go out for a bunch of like super viewers. It's like this is something we do for fun, and we really like to bring people in. And I'm pretty open to having guests on and people talk about things and what we do. And last weekend we had Marissa Tellez on from the Crocodile Research Coalition. She was telling us about all kinds of cool stuff. And I think I'm going to talk with her again this week, and maybe I'll bring her on again next weekend because I'd really like to start talking about some big crocodiles out there that she says are around in that area. And so think about everything out there in Belize, man, and some of the areas out there that, that are unknown. And she's looking at them for caves. And if you follow her on there, the Crocodile Research Coalition or Marissa Tellez, you can find her stuff on Instagram. She's Croc Parasites, I believe, is one of it. She has a page like that too. And she does a lot about that. She talks about looking for them in the caves, and there's a lot of pictures and what the mines talk about and hieroglyphics on the wall. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff. I mean, I'm pretty excited. And you know that most of you know that I don't like to fly. But I might just have to go get, what should I use? Maybe some anesthesia. I'll have a doctor knock me out and put me on the plane and wake me up when I get there.
We'll just roll you on. We'll just transfer you from like a wheelchair.
Man, this guy, one time,
like,
I was flying one time, and there was this guy. He came on. He was kind of tall, slender, probably about 6'3", big dude, all tatted. He came in, he's real chill. He kind of sat down in the chair, and we hadn't even taken off yet. And he just sat down, and he was like, I like to always be in the aisle. I don't like window seats. Ever since that window where that lady got her head sucked out of the window, I'm not sitting by windows. Like, fuck that. But anyways, I was in the. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah, the plane engine. Not too long ago, a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, the engine exploded. It put a crack in the window, and her head slammed against the window, and it killed her. It just, the pressure just sucked
the pressure.
On her head. Yeah, it was disgusting. So everybody lived but her. So I'll be sitting in the aisle. Anyways.
Oh my God.
I know, man. Think about that. Y'all feel free to look that up if you want to look that up. Woman gets head stuck to window in airplane and dies. Look at it. It was horrible. I felt really terrible for that person because somebody, you don't know if she was scared to fly or not. And they're probably like, oh, it's going to be okay. We do it all the time. It's awesome. So anyways.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
I know. Tell me
about it. And I always sit
really
by
sad.
Windows too, because I always like looking out the window.
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll sit on the same aisle, and I'll take.
I sit on the aisle. So this guy sits across from me, right? He just kind of says, "What's up?" He sits down, and next thing you know, his head like falls like this, and he starts drooling. He just went out. So whatever he was on is what I need. Dan's on. He said, "Hey, Troy, we're trapping. Currently, we are trapping and looking at a 6 foot, which he means a 6 foot alligator. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, that's
Somebody
cool.
must have called in. Somebody must have called one in. I guess you'll be contacting some people about.
Is that here in Florida?
Well, of course. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They're trapping in Florida. Yeah. He's a licensed agent, works under a trapper. That's great. I'm glad they're out there doing that. I bet they're having a really good time. Dan, if you're out there watching a 6 footer right now and listening at the same time, did you have fun at Croc Fest? Did you get to lightsaber anybody or cut up any frogs or lizards or anything with your lightsabers? I'd like to know. Please put that in the comment if good. So right after the show tonight, Michael Ford, let's see what he said. Are they salties? Are there any salties that were let go in the glades from a long time ago? I don't know. I mean, that the fairest thing to say about that, Michael, is I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's a possibility there was a lot of stuff let go when people were grabbing stuff they shouldn't. But salties a long time ago, they're just saltwater crocodiles they're not easy to come by. There are people who do have them, but they're not easy to come by. And usually when they were coming in, they were already a valuable animal and people were already getting some. Would I be surprised if someone said they found one? My first thought would be someone let one go for some publicity and then acted like they caught it, or they might find it. I have no idea. So one of the things I talked about on the last show with Marissa is I do think one day somebody will run into a black caiman out there, because unless you know what you're looking at and you're going out, or you're just an average person, if you really don't know what you're looking at, you would just think it's an alligator, especially if it was big. I mean, they do resemble alligators. I mean, they are their cousins or stuff. Corey says, oh, yeah. Chandler said, fought Chandler again. Marissa's got skills. Yes, Marissa's awesome. So he fought Chandler again. That's good. Those kids take their Star Wars swords out there and they beat on each other and stuff. I just don't have the energy to do that. I'm a little trolled. Although I did see Flavio fight Chandler one time and knocked his glasses off and went crazy on him. So I don't know, because Chandler said no rules, or Dan said no rules, and Flavio was like, okay, don't ever tell Flavio no rules. For anybody who wants to know, don't ever say that ever.
That means everything's
so yeah,
off the table.
That there might be something out there, man. I mean, there might be some salties out there. I really don't know. So
isn't it?
But there's some big animals. American crocs are really big too. And I mean, I'm sure there's some big monsters out there that we're just not aware of, or that, the Croc Docs monitor know they are and don't tell people because they don't want to mess with. And the reservations. There's some big saltwater crocodiles on them reservations out there, man. And that's not, the general public doesn't get to go out there and see that stuff. So yeah, I think there could be anything out there.
Now, here in Florida, don't we have the American crocodile?
Yes, we do have the American crocodile. Yes, the
Which
American
really
crocodile
cool.
lives in the southern tip of Florida. There have been some found in the St. Petersburg area. Not too long ago, about 2 years ago now, the sheriff department was called for a crocodile in a neighborhood, and it was a young female migrated up from Florida. And the South Florida crocodiles down south, they're really light colored. They're beautiful animals. So American crocs vary between sizes and colors from all over the place. So that's cool.
Really cool.
Holy shit, we attracted 4. Okay, cool. Now remember, guys, what they're doing when I say they're out there, they're trapping. They're licensed Florida trappers. Somebody called them a nuisance alligator. So it doesn't mean if you come down to Florida, you can run around and catch alligators and stuff. It's not. You have to be licensed. And you have to have a permit by the state to be able to go out and do that. So just keep that in mind, what they're doing. I'm assuming that's what he means. We attracted 4. I don't think it's lightsabers.
What I think is funny too, because I remember reading an article, I think I shared it with you, Troy, was during COVID, when the beaches in the South area were really like sparse, nobody was there. It was kind of like the crocodiles, the American crocs were like, oh, and a lot of the gators too were kind of like, oh, this is free game. It's all new space. We can lay out and enjoy ourselves. And when people started going back, they were finding, specimens there that normally aren't on those parts of the beaches, but it was because there was no people. Like there was no.
That's true. No, so
busyness being there or whatever.
No, you're right. So went out with the Croc Docs, and I got the honor of riding with them, and I love going out with them. They're a great group of people. Dr. Benicia and Dr. Frank Mazzotti, they've got a really good team that runs out there. Kurt and I went out, and one of the coolest things, like a lot of times you'll see like on documentaries or on TV, you'll see the crocodiles like running off into the water and stuff, and it's usually salt waters or whatever, Niles, where they're filming. So we were coming up on one of the islands out there off the Keys, and he kind of, we were out with a gentleman by the name of Ed, and he brought the throttle down on the boat. We were kind of at idle, and you hear all of a sudden, all this shit breaking, smash, and it was this big croc knew we were coming. They just know, and it like was running down the beach, man. That just blew out of the fucking mangroves, went into the water. It was like, they did that slide with the head, and then we got to the boat over top, and it was just down there. I'm like, because they are very, in my opinion, they're very, very reclusive in Florida. They're not you don't hear a lot about them going after people or, being aggressive, because those crocodiles are real reclusive in Florida. We caught one earlier, 5 foot 1 inch. Benny's been chasing for 5 months. El Chapo. Cool.
Oh, wow.
El Chapo. He's going to put him on the El Grillo. You guys going to eat him? I think Dan's going to eat his first gator tail tonight. El Chapo.
No.
Anyways, no, he won't do that. the Croc went out there, and we were talking to them, and I remember snorkeling in the Keys and taking kayaks out of John Penny Camp and going into the mangrove, and I would see baby American crocs all the time. And I got back and we talked to the guy there. I go, yeah, I saw some little crocodiles out there. It was really neat. And he's like, oh man, listen, every time the bigger ones chase the littler ones up in there, people get scared of them, jump off, leave the kayak. We got to go out and get it. So I'm sure they're out there like that too. So it's kind of cool, but they are out there. So when they're out there running around, they're pretty awesome. And they are there. If anybody wants to go see them, do not hurt them or go down there and molest them. I know people think that's funny. He said molest, like Beavis and Butthead, but you don't molest them, feed them, or fuck with them, folks. But if you go down to Flamingo, Florida, you go into the Everglades National Park entrance, you drive the 45 miles down, do it at night, go down on the warmer evenings, and they'll be laying up on the boat docks, and they'll let you walk right up and take a picture of them. If you don't mess with them and you stay out of their way, keep a safe distance. I'm not telling you to go up and lay down with them and stuff. But if you can see them for real in person, when you see them, it's if you appreciate crocodiles and you're not one of those weird people like, ew, it's gross. We get that too. But if you really want to appreciate another living thing other than, human, go down and see them. I mean, I wonder what crocodiles think of people. Naked monkeys that fart and throw garbage in the water all the time. Think about that. Big farty, gross, naked monkeys throwing trash in the water.
It's not even just that, but it's like really cool for them because, I mean, they've been here forever and they haven't changed since the prehistoric time.
They have not.
It's really cool that they've had to watch us evolve and the world around them evolve. And I do wonder what they think.
I think we're fucking idiots because I think they're smarter than we are. So I got Joe pop back in too. I'd like to hear what Joe has to say. What's up, Joe? Joe in the dark.
What's going on?
I like, what his title is? Joe After Dark. I love it. Because he's always in the black. It's Joe After Dark.
The last time Joe was on, it's just like that. Just like half of his face was shining through.
Yeah, you can see him. It's like this ghost in the darkness. Joe After
I'm
Dark.
always out when the show is on.
I know. You know what? Like I said, I've been talking about really moving it over to like maybe a Thursday night or something like that and doing it where everybody can be back. But, it gets dark now. Like when I was doing it in the summertime, it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock. The sun's out right now, in the summertime at this time. So, but when we go in the winter, it's dark by 5:30 and, it's weird because you'd be like, walk around your house at 7, think it's like 10 o'clock. You're like, oh my God, it's only 7:15. So, and I was going to say, after this tonight, my father is here tonight, spending the night with us. So I'm going to take him. We're going to go see that Ghostbuster movie right after the show. I'm really stoked about that because I was around. I got to see, most kids didn't, but I got to see the real Ghostbusters in the theater, and too. They did one in between with like the Saturday Night Live people, and it was funny. But this one's supposed to tie in with Dan. I'm kind of stoked about seeing that, honestly.
It's cool.
Ghosts.
I don't. You know what I've been watching like consistently since there's always the same shit on TV. Fucking The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh yeah. Is
it good?
It's not bad. It's supposedly based on some story that happened out in Connecticut, but it's all right. I mean.
I gotta tell you something.
That original case, Joe, is like one of the most intense cases because it actually went to court, and they were trying to really win. That was Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it was a real possession. It was a real deal. It was some shit that they went through.
Well, the movie makes it seem like he gets like manslaughter or whatever, and the movie makes it seem like they gave him manslaughter because of his demonic possession. But meanwhile, in the real story, from what I read, like that wasn't even allowed in court to for the jury or nothing. So he had to get manslaughter based on like being crazy or some shit.
Yep.
But I mean, the movie was good. I like that kind of evil shit. So
I do too. I like that. I'm going to bring something up about that. Dan said, "Yo, Flavio's so much fun when he's hammered." Yeah.
Oh God.
You got to be very careful with Flavio when he's hammered, Dan. Better watch yourself. Wake up in the woods with tape and no pants on.
Flavio is a crazy man.
But so Ghost Hunters. What's the guy who did that? Brittany, what's his name?
Well, there's two. There was Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson who did.
No, the guy that the guy that does that show, that Twisted show.
No, you're talking about Zach Bagans. Yeah, you're talking about.
Listen, bro. Watch that shit.
Yeah.
He buys all these things and he does the story. The first one I watched, I was like, what in the fuck did I just watch? Like he does the whole story, the backstory about these. Like the first one's about a dollhouse, bro, and it's fucking fucked. That's all I can tell you. Watch it in the dark and you'll be creeped out. You'll be like, man, I can't wait till the sun comes up. I was good. Like, because like it was like, he was like legit telling that story. Actors that they got to do it, the story behind it. It was like a motion picture. Like I was impressed because it was really dark and I like really dark things. I get hard.
That show is doing really well. That show's doing really well.
It's great. He did a great job. He did a great job.
Yeah.
What's up, Judy? He did a great job.
They're taking every single piece of his haunted museum that has like, well, they all have really dark past histories to them, but they're literally making like episodes based on all of his haunted artifacts. Cause he's tried to buy a lot of like the actual, I know that he was successful in one of the murder houses. Sharon Tate, I think the house that she was murdered in, I think he bought that house. I know he's trying to buy a couple of those because he's all into that. That's like that's his whole thing.
It's out there, man. Joe knows, we all know. I don't care who makes fun of people. There's just some things going on, and you got, it's just funny to me that you have so many people that believe specific things. And then when things are right in front of them, they don't get it. Like, like dimes left in front of you all the time. There's something to that,
You showed that picture the next morning.
I know. I did. I did. Dan said, I had a good conversation with Justin, too. I love that, man. Gatorland's pretty cool. Their male Cuban is so damn big, it's not even funny. Yes, they have a very big Cuban crocodile out there. They do. There's a few people in the state of Florida that have giant male crocodiles. There's a giant male, too, in Texas at the Gladys Porter Zoo. It's a sexy animal. It really is. Those are some big crocs. But back to that, I mean, there's a lot of weird shit like that happens. And I think there's animal things, too, man, like that, man. Can you imagine, like, if what was his name? Gomek. If his ghost, that Gomez, that Croc was still around as a ghost, bro, that'd be freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
What's up, Jesse Black? Good to see you, man. Mrs. Florida Fuckers. Yes, we're here, my friend. We're here. Jesse Black. I love that guy, man. He's awesome. Man, it's been a long time, Jesse. You got to get back down here, bro. So, yeah, if you can think about all that kind of stuff going on. And what's up, Pam? Pamela's here. Brittany, there you go. Just so you can say hi to Pam.
Oh, hi, Pam.
Everybody's saying hi.
Pam.
So, back to that. So those stories, if you watch it, I forget what it's on. I think it's on Discovery Plus, right?
Yeah.
So Discovery Plus, if you want to stream it, man, I'm telling you, Joe, you bro.
It's good.
You come over here, we'll put it on the big screen, we'll watch it. I'm telling you, it's like, it's really good. So a lot of that stuff's like cheesy, and they're like, oh, the doll walked in the dark. And I was reading stuff on Wendigos and shit like that. Those little midget things.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Listen, if I was sitting somewhere and a little thing ran by like that and it yelled Wendigo or whatever, I don't know if I wouldn't die right where I sit. I'd rather see a ghost than a Wendigo. The fuck's a Wendigo? I'm serious. Have you seen those videos where those little kids are playing and some little midget thing comes in and pinches them and runs? What the fuck is that?
I don't know, man. Isn't that the Norwegian one?
Right?
All
the videos were in Spanish. I thought it was Spanish.
No, because the Norwegian has a very similar one. They're the ones that like clip off kids' toenails or something at night when they sleep.
That's disgusting. You are a rock star, Jesse. No, man, I don't know about that, man. Nothing's supposed to be trimming your toenails off.
Yeah, fuck that.
Dude, are you serious? Leave a dime on the floor all day. You start trimming your toenails, we're going to have an issue. I'm going to burn the fucking house down.
Fuck that, man.
They're
stealing your toenails. Oh my!
There's some really I might be having that backwards with another one, but there's something like a little house elf or like a house gremlin that literally that's what they do, and it's like that's what was taught to like kids is that at night they clip their toenails off, and there's like a whole back legend of why they clip the toenails off and what that symbol. It's really weird. Like it's really weird. But there's so
Judy says it's from Canada.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay. But I think the Wendigo is like a little midget in the Spanish people.
I'll have to look.
Because there was like a little kid. Every one of the videos, they were screaming in Spanish. I thought it was Spanish. I really did.
So it might have been Mexico.
There was like little kids in a room and they're playing, and then all of a sudden the midget thing, like that looks like a G.I. Joe figure, comes running out across the floor. And then the kids just get up and run like they've never seen it in their life. So, if it was fake, it was really good. But it was, I'm sure it is. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard it. I'm not going to say anything's fake because I don't really know.
This is my motto, and I stick with that because my motto is that it's possible until proven impossible. So for me, I believe that all these things
like
are
you mean like in
possible.
America, you're guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's all the same. But with like any of these, you have to realize though, like half of these folklore legends have been around since like we're talking a long, long time. So when you think back, every little bit of this folklore or a legend has some historical truth to it. And maybe a little bit's been elaborated on to scare your kids to go to bed or whatever the case is. But there is some truth to it because, I mean, you go to Ireland, they won't even freaking build a road over a true ferry road. Like they won't. They will take it to court. And in 2009, they actually won. They couldn't even change the interstate because it was an actual ferry road. And if you're there in Ireland, like I got the privilege of seeing it, which is really cool, is there's a road that's like the ferry road. And in order to cross over, you have to bring the ferries a peace offering or something will happen to you.
What do you give them, your teeth? What was that thing?
No, anything.
Something under the steps, the tooth fairy things?
Oh my God, that's horrifying. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of the dark or whatever. The little tooth
Well, they
fairy.
take the children's teeth?
Oh my God. Yes, to
Listen,
like survive.
I like it. I like it when it's really dark like that. I want to start doing some really dark investigations. I really do.
I'm with you on that one, bro.
I'm telling you, Joseph, I will send it up. Brittany's got some serious equipment. I like to see some things. I'll take Jimmy with me because he feels some really good stuff. And I really definitely
is the best in investigations.
Because Jimmy's a sensitive.
I love Jimmy in investigations.
He's really sensitive like to that stuff. And like he'll feel like, I don't like the way that's pushing on me. I'm like,
I love him. I'm taking the footage that we filmed recently and I'm retooling it for like a fun little video for us to post and reels and things like that because I think
we need to.
There are so many great clips of Jimmy talking and he's like, well, I've got the long hair. The long hair.
Yeah, because the thing was touching him and then remember Michael's like, it wants to molest you.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, must be the hair. It must be the long hair.
Yeah, Jimmy, man, because we're in this room, bro. We're in this room, Joseph, and Michael's like, I need a really sensitive spirit. Jimmy,
go
back in the very back. I'm like, oh man, going down the hallway here. It got wild, bro. I'm telling you, it got really wild, man. It was. I can't wait till you release some of that footage because.
Yeah, I'm actually putting together right now like a little mini trailer versus what I had to send elsewhere, but like just for ourselves, I'm putting together a really cool little trailer for us because
I love it, man.
That footage is so great. It was so fun.
It's the coolest shit, dude. You got to go, Joseph. You got it one time, man. We got to get out there. You'll see.
Let me know when, man.
We'll pick a day. We'll get some stuff going. We'll do some filming. It's just so like I can't. Sometimes I like to get. I do the crocodile thing and the animal thing all the time, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's a great part of my life. But those are the other interests of mine that just I'm super intrigued by.
But you're not alone because there's a lot of people that work like 9 to 5s all the time, and all of a sudden they're like, but at night they're out investigating. I mean, I have a lot of friends like that all over the U.S. and in Canada and elsewhere. That's what they do during the day. They have their normal jobs. And you would never know that at night they're out investigating these, horrifying locations because that's just what they enjoy. They love it. There's some fun to it.
Dan, I'll be at the next Croc Fest. It doesn't matter about the location. I would have been there this time. It's just that, we went, Jimmy and them had their new home and they started their annual party. Normally that Croc Fest is on the 7th. Usually when they do their winter Croc Fest, it's usually the first week or second weekend of December. And it just fell at a bad time for us. But I had talked to Flavio and we wanted to do some of that stuff too, but we had a prior engagement, but I had a really good time too. So I can't really complain. And I like when I go somewhere without drama. You know what I mean, Joe? Like, sometimes I just want to go somewhere and relax. I don't want to be worried about, that guy said this and this guy looks like an idiot with a mullet and this. I don't care about this stuff. I just don't care. I'm getting too old. I'm having a hard time getting up off the ground right now. I don't have time to go be fucking with nothing else. I'm just
I hear you. I didn't go either. I didn't go last night. I heard it was okay. I mean, yeah,
I'm sure it didn't. I saw a lot of videos and pictures. It looked like it was fun. I don't know exactly what was made yet. I hope they raise a lot of money for the crocodiles, man, because that's what it's about, really. It really is. At the end of the day, the bigger entity there is the crocodiles, and it's just funny how crocodiles are so awesome. They cause people to try to kill each other, backstab, bite, backbite, and everything else. I mean, these crocodiles have. Listen, you want to talk about something that has supernatural powers? It's a fucking crocodile.
Fucking crocodile. Yep.
They sit around going, let me think. Watch these two. I'll get them to hate each other. Oh, this guy's a shorty, and I'll make the tall guy hate the midget. Oh, look at this guy. Fuck, he'll steal from him. Yeah, let's see if he'll steal me. Hey, Hank, let's see if he'll steal me tonight. You know, that's what's going on. So the Crocs have magic powers. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that statement, but it's true. You mess with crocodiles or tigers, people end up getting killed and putting septic tanks and shit.
Tigers, Tiger King.
You know, not for nothing, but I always believe that the big cat people were the fucking craziest ones. But I'm starting to learn that it's the alligator
monitor people.
Oh, and monitor people.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, because you know crocodiles are hard. It's because not everybody can do crocodiles. Not everybody can. Yeah. You know, I've seen a lot of big dreamers come and go, like get large collections and just fuck their whole life up. You know, it's like you got to start slow, man. Like I've seen that happen in my life. I've seen it where they'll do really well and they'll get sidetracked or they get greedy and shit goes wrong for them and it ends up really bad or they do something stupid and go to jail or they die. So, you know, it's not everybody can work with crocodiles. They can't. I mean, there's a folklore with them, you know, just like like the cassowaries. I've been researching everything. There's only 2 confirmed deaths on people ever.
Yeah, you were telling me.
But you talk about cassowaries, I'll fucking talk about, it's a murder bird. I think it's funny to call them thunder chickens, murder birds. You know, I think that's funny. I go out and sit with them. I go, my little murder birds, and I scratch their head. I love it. But
that's hilarious.
How big are you?
I still respect them. Well, my larger one, I'd have to say, is probably almost 3 feet tall.
All right.
Yeah. Like, and she's big too, and she's got these big eyes, and she'll come right up at your face and look at you like, "Who are you?" You got to come by and check it out, man. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the one you tell her to lay down now, turn to the side, and she'll like plop down on her side and kick her leg out. You can like scratch her legs. I mean, she's gonna be the sweet one, and then I'm gonna have the bigger one. She's a little bit more. To me, she seems a little smarter, and so she studies me more. She studies everything. The other day I was sitting down, right? And I was just sitting and I had my arms like sitting on my legs. And I was like, come on, guys, let's have our bananas and stuff. And she walked all the way up to my arm and like, you know, I'm tattooed. And she was looking at each individual tattoo, like curving her head and looking. And then she'd like pull at some of them. I mean, she studied my whole arm. That's like awesome. Looks at you. And when you come over, they look right in your eyes. They make solid eye contact. They're not like, dude, I'm telling you. When people go, fuck those things, like you're ridiculous. They are the raddest fucking thing I've ever messed with. And I'm impressed by crocodiles, and I've seen some awesome shit. But these little guys, it's like dealing with something that's, God, what would be the word? Like crocodiles are super intelligent, sometimes smarter than the trainer. These birds are more interactive. How's that? That's what I'm trying to say. They're more interactive and they respond to where you can see them respond. Like now they know it's time for bed. You say time for bed, they go into their little house and stuff. What are you doing? Brittany, what are you doing?
I'm trying to find a book I want to show you.
A book?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. I think he's here. Hold on, let me look. Boom!
Oh!
What's going on?
Jimmy Riffle.
What's up,
pal?
I'm
a little excited. I'm so starstruck. I'm going to get my lotion in a napkin.
Oh, my God. As long as
so
you film
Brittany's here. Joe's here. The Croc father's here. And we are talking about crazy crocodile people, ghosts, Wendigos, and things cutting your toenails off.
Ghost.
Nice. Let's see here. It was something better to do. They can't. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And so instead of helping each other, they try and use people in the backside them. If you have something better, then you can do something they can't. Yes, that's very true in that community. That's what Joe and I were just talking about. Jimmy understands. If this happened to showings, dogs, and showing llamas, it's happened. Yes. Brittany, you remember when you didn't even want to go back and show llamas anymore when you were a kid? All them aristocrats.
Yeah.
And then we got, hey, Jimmy. Judy said, hey, Jimmy.
I did it.
So we are
it's awful.
It's
like the same in the same. It's awful. It's terrible.
So I was told, Joe, we got to go on investigation one night. We were talking about how you were getting tickled in that room.
Tickled.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that thing was pushing on you.
St. Augustine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. A lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it was so dead in the beginning. You know, the guy was bringing the guy that owned the building was bringing people back and forth, and it was like quiet, but man, we got into that room and then we went upstairs and it's like somebody opened the gates, bro. It was like
crazy.
The one lady got really sick that was with us, and she, she's not in tune to anything, and she's like, I'm really sick, I have to get out of here. And Brittany's rocking back and forth, and I'm like, I feel like I'm standing on the ceiling.
I felt like I was on a boat. Like I
Bro,
was
that
like
room,
on like
when the
5-7 rollers out on the boat.
I'm telling you, when the room twists, Joe, when the room
moving,
twists,
people.
people's got to think I'm fucking crazy, but I don't give a shit. When you're standing there and the room goes, whoop, and now when I look down at Jimmy and that face was looking at Jimmy's face and looked down the hall, I said, listen here. Somebody listen.
All I saw was nickels. Like, no, I didn't see
Nickels.
him. I just heard him. I heard him. And that's
You know what my
nuts.
favorite line was, though, Jimmy,
Nickels.
from that night? Was the fact that you're like, they didn't even have effing nickels.
Yeah, he screamed. He goes, "What the fuck is that?" Joe said that he has.
So
So it's
great.
interesting.
So great.
Joseph said that something always leaves dimes around for him, laying around his place.
Really? Okay.
So
And
Really
the day
weird.
after I told you, I walked
Yes.
out and on my porch in the morning, I was going to work. There's a fucking dime on the floor of my porch.
I saw the picture by your foot. I saw it.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's amazing. We all have that thing we can't explain. Like we'll be sitting there doing something, or we'll see something, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna adjust. Normally you want to run, but you're like, no, I'm gonna sit here and absorb it. I want to see what it is. I'm just gonna adjust. And I think people are scared to talk about it for fear that they'll think that someone might think they're stupid or crazy. I really believe that. I think that people see a lot more than they talk about.
Well, and don't forget, too, that dimes are supposed to be dimes themselves. If you do by the history, it's when you have somebody that's passed on, it's their way of communicating with you. Just a dime when you keep finding just dimes.
That means they're only worth 10 cents.
I'm
So
giving
50 cents.
I'm giving
so
you my 2
50 cents.
cents. It's 10 cents. It's
So-
more than 2 cents.
So 50 cents dies. Are you going to find 50-cent pieces?
50 cents. Yeah.
50
50 cents
cent?
leaves 50 cents.
50
The
cents.
10 that's
50
it
cents
about
leaves
coins.
50 cents.
So it was a dark room. There's nobody in there, right? You could see. So what they were doing was, Joe, they were running an infrared camera.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you can see all of us in the dark on film.
And like I said, I'm putting that together, and then when I have it, I'm giving it to Jimmy and Troy. We'll all post it, so it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
and I'll send it to you, Joe. So we're all in this room together, and like they bring Marsha through, and all of a sudden this coin like fucking gets on this shelf, a perfectly level shelf, and rolls. Nobody
by
moved. I'm
Jimmy's
like,
face.
okay.
First-
And it went, yep.
First thing I said was, "Who the fuck did that?" And then come to find out, Brittany's done stuff here in the past, and
Yep.
she's had a lot of nickel things happen.
Pennies were
and
huge.
quarters.
Pennies were
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, it was a big penny
Pennies.
thing.
Yeah, that's what she
Mhm.
said.
You
yeah.
got to understand it's a metal, right? It's a metal. And energy moves metal, magnetic energy. And they always talk about when you're in the supernatural realms, or they talk about magnetic energy and whatever. I mean, maybe that's just something that they're able to move due to that being like a certain type of metal.
Who knows?
And I always found it interesting that even when you get into like ancient aliens or that type of stuff, they were always after metals. They're always after platinum. They're always after gold or metal or stuff like that. So
They were always
at the end of the day,
mining on our planet.
Judy says hi, Sarah. I guess Sarah's here. Did I miss her? Did I miss Sarah?
She walked. Well, no, you didn't see her. She went out the door, but
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
mom-
I was
maybe
like,
she
my
heard
mom
it.
must have saw her because she said hi, Sarah. That's weird. There's a ghost in the house, but but maybe it's that there's something to that relevant to that, or
the heck
What
was
just
that?
happened?
Bye, Troy.
Oh my god, that is so weird.
He goes, "It must be ghosts."
Poof, gone.
Yeah, like God.
Whenever
that's
he
cool
starts
magic
talking
trick.
about supernatural, this stuff happens to him. Like
Hey,
what?
Joe,
the
I never met you, man. I'm Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
How you doing,
Nice
buddy?
to meet you, bro. Good.
You
How
too.
are you?
I'm doing all right. Hanging in there.
So welcome to the Jimbo Show. Hi, Jimbo. How's it going?
oh man.
No, so what I was telling him earlier, Jimmy, because you were there that night, but the footage that obviously I own part of that footage, so I'm putting together like a kind of a mini trailer for us.
sorry, I got kicked
put
out of my own show.
Okay.
Well, it was funny because it was like it's got to be ghosts. Poof, gone. Woo,
I'm
there we go.
serious. I was like, huh? And they're like, studio, you're out of the studio. I'm like, what?
It's surreal.
It does that sometimes.
Surreal.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Dan says bye,
Wanna say
bitch,
hi?
whatever that means.
Wanna say
And,
hi?
Probably because you left. Like, Whoop, you were gone. Oh, there's Sarah. Hey.
Oh, there's a ghost in
Wanna say
Sarah.
hi?
Is that a ghost in Sarah? That's not Sarah. That's a dog.
No, not that. Sarah.
Oh, I was about to
say.
say, come on now.
So this is a really good book. If anybody's interested in reading a really cool ghost book, they minimized a bunch of short, like longer ghost stories into
Of
very
sharks?
short ones.
You can put that up closer.
Oh, sorry.
You said they minimized a bunch of sharks. I think you meant shorts, right?
Short.
Yeah.
Okay. If they have ghost sharks, that's a good book. Ghost sharks.
Yeah, no, ghost stories. And this is by Paul Rowland. And it's a really good book. Like, I love this one because I mean, we're talking like, it does a lot of really good ones. And then the Florida Keys one is really good too.
I love that shit.
I've had these books for a very long time.
That one about the Florida Keys, that has that doll in it also.
Yes, Robert the doll.
So why don't you tell us about Robert, Brittany? I'd like to know a little more about Robert the doll.
So Robert the doll, here he is. He's my baby. I love him. Troy knows we were in the Keys together, and I was like, I just want to freaking see Robert. Why can't I go see my doll?
But did he do something like legit?
Is he in a museum?
He's in the historical fort museum that's down there in the Keys.
Oh man, we got to go
and
see
they
it.
have him in a glass case, and he's basically, the story behind him is pretty in depth, but in a short story, he's possessed by a certain demonic entity. And so it was basically welcomed into Robert without knowing. And so
like a Chucky, an old school Chucky.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like there's a close up of his face, but he we're talking pages of stories of his history.
But what does he do?
Time.
What does he do? Does he hurt people? Does he like get him in the night?
Supposedly, yeah, illnesses, sicknesses. I think the one woman actually, or the one person did die.
Is Benny going to die tonight? Is that what you mean by that statement? I'm just sorry, guys. Benny said he's going to be the first ghost alligator trapper. So I wondered if he's going to. That's okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
We'll catch
Benny.
ghost. We'll catch ghost. I have a ghost.
That's cool.
We'll put him in a ghost.
That's right. Jimmy has an alligator named Ghost. It is Ghosty.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. We'll catch ghost.
Anyway, there's a lot of people don't know all of his history, but he was like kind of a gloom and doom doll. And so everybody that had him, they believed that you would become possessed and all these horrible things would happen to you. So he kept just getting passed down and moved around. And then finally he was from the Keys originally. And so then they finally took him and they put him in like a glass box, and he's got salt all in the bottom of his rim. And like they tried to contain him like they did Annabelle, and they won't ever remove the box.
So he's in a box. Can you see him like through a glass case and shit like that?
It's a complete glass box. He's in a complete glass box with salt lining the box.
And the keys thrown away and all that shit.
Everything. He's just in there. And he's sitting, I love him. He's so cute. He's just sitting in a little rocking chair. And it's funny, Zach was the only person that I believe he was able to be in there with the box lifted off. And they had a lot of weird crap happen that night.
Really?
Because they have to
Joe,
keep it.
Can you go get that for us?
Yeah,
I'm heading
bring it
down
up.
right now.
Because I think he was from. Oh, Robert. I love him to death.
I like shit like that. I think that's cool. I'd like to go
well,
down
the
and see
thing
him.
about
I've never
Robert,
seen
though,
Robert.
too, is he would move by himself, right? So the kids that originally had him first, that's why they said the kids brought the spirit in, was because they always kept saying this little boy, this little boy, this little boy. And then they were saying the little boy is Robert, the doll. So Robert, the doll, was always getting blamed for things, but Robert would literally move by himself throughout the house. He would leave notes. He would do all these random things. And the kids were like, it's not us, it's the doll. And it ended up truly being the doll. Like the doll had all this magnetic stuff coming off of it. Like readings were off the charts. Like
so in other words, there's a spirit in the doll, is what you're saying.
Exactly, just like Annabelle. Annabelle shouldn't have been what Annabelle
and he has
is.
to sit in a little glass cage like an iguana with salt for substrate, is what you're telling me. And he can never leave that.
Hold him
That's
there.
fucked up.
Nope, we're talking about this doll.
Why did they name him Robert?
Robert was the name of the spirit that wanted to be around. So
Robert was the name that got into the little doll.
Mm-hmm. But Robert was known to be.
He's pissed off because he doesn't have a dick, Jimmy. Ricky Martin's here. What's up, Ricky Martin? Living La Vida Loca. Y'all talking about the doll in Key West?
Yes. Robert's the doll.
Yep, that's it, Ricky. Yep. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, and it was really cool too because there's another story. After Robert the doll came out in the 70s, there was another doll in the late 80s, early 90s that lived in a house next door to this gentleman, and the family, I guess, went on vacation, And the house was left vacant like for 3 months during, I think it was during the summertime or springtime or something like that. And the gentleman kept saying that the doll would literally move around the house and peek out the window at him. And there was nobody in the house. And this was another doll. And he was like making reports on it.
I mean, that's kind of fucked up. What if you end up like, imagine, Brittany, like,
I don't buy
something
dolls
happens
for
to
this
you
reason.
and you end up in a Cabbage Patch Kid somewhere. You know what people do to dolls and shit? You know what people do to dolls? Oh my God. And you would just have to take it. I'd be looking out windows too and scaring people. That's me.
It's just horrible. I hate
I
it.
really though.
Sarah's
Imagine
the
that.
same
Imagine
way,
that.
man.
Horrible.
I'll go to a
You have the
thrift store.
ventriloquist doll that I did basically wanted to get rid of. When we found that doll, he was covered in crucifixes. Thank you.
Bro, listen, Joe, I have him. I have him in my trailer. He stays in my trailer because he's weird. He's a red-headed
There's
fucking doll
something wrong
with
with that
Jesus
doll.
buttons all over him. He was in some old church box.
Yeah.
What?
So
There was
I've got him. I've got him, dude. I'm gonna
was-
put him in my office.
I was sent to a house to basically the family up and left pretty abruptly and quickly, and very hidden in the back of one of the closets, all the way at the very back. Yeah, see, all the way in the very back was this little box, and it was covered up with all these other doll clothes stacked on top of it. And I was like, "What is in this box?" So like I pulled the box out and I literally open it up, and I kid you not, he's wearing a crucifix. He had the Virgin Mary pin. He had 2 crucifixes. And then he had a prayer in there that was like next to him, tucked by his hand. And then like after I was like, what in the world that I just uncovered? So like I took him out and then it hit me. I'm like, I'm touching this thing. Oh my God, I'm touching this thing. Like it's
I have him. I have him. I like him. But who makes a fucking redhead
so then I brought
ventriloquist
him
doll?
home. But I do believe he's possessed because I brought him home. I had weird stuff happening. And the second night he was in my house, I remember laying in my bed and we had tile floor at the time. And Troy knows my old place. And
Yep.
I heard footsteps come in from my bedroom door up to my side of the bed, go all the way back around the other side of the bed, go to the other side and come back to my side of the bed. And I was like, nope, that doll, it's that doll. And I remember hearing weird sounds in my house. And then finally I was like, Troy can have it. Troy's like, I want that doll. He's so cool.
I got him.
Like,
I kept him. I have him.
Take
I've
him.
had him ever since. Ricky said, when I die, I hope I end up in a Freddy Krueger doll. That's not gonna happen to you, bro. You're gonna end up in a Malibu fucking Barbie,
Yeah,
Ricky. That's what's
Malibu
gonna
Barbie.
happen, bro. A Malibu Barbie. I hope it's a Ken doll with the blonde hair.
or a Raggedy Ann
Bro,
doll,
yo,
like
Ricky
Annabelle.
would look awesome as a Ken doll, right, bro?
Oh my God.
Dude,
I'm
I
the
love
type
Ricky. I
person,
swear
like,
to
when we
God,
go to
bro,
those,
he's a fucking. It's so awesome. Yeah, so she dumped him on Troy. Yes, I kept him, but he's in my trailer. I have a big trailer. I keep all my decorations and Halloween stuff in, but I think I'm gonna bring him into the office and sit him in here.
I hate that doll. Go ahead, Jimmy. What were you about to say? I hate that doll.
I was gonna say, when I go to thrift stores, when we go antiquing when we're on the road, I'm the type of person that I'll send like, hey, don't bullshit. You've been with me doing it. So
Yep.
I'll find these dolls and I'll send them to Sarah, and she's like, no way. Don't bring that shit home. She will not. Dolls? No way. I can't bring them home.
I
Nope.
love that shit.
I'll send her these
I love
creepy
it.
dolls, and she's like, not coming in. No.
I
Nope.
love creepy dolls.
They can go right on that shelf back there. They will look good.
No, like, not every single doll, like not every doll is haunted. And I know a lot of dolls get bad rep, but the problem is it's still an object that belonged to somebody and negative energy can attach itself to anything. So for me,
Yeah, but
I'm
this
like,
doll is weird. I wonder if they put all that shit on him because he was running around doing shit.
probably that was the thing. You don't find a doll, especially a ventriloquist doll. You don't find a doll covered in nothing but like religious artifacts all over it.
And he was
In a
also,
box.
Jimmy, he was also wearing molest me clothes.
Oh, he was wearing little kid clothes. They have him in like legit little kid clothes.
In like saddle shoes and shit, bro.
Oh, it's awful.
It's like pull your pants down,
I
Rusty
can't
the doll.
see it.
Really
It's
weird,
lagging
bro.
like a motherfucker.
Bro, I will. Who's lagging? I'm lagging.
I think it's Jimmy's signal because he's starting to lag on our end.
Everybody's lagging. It's like 30 seconds late.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I see you lagging. I've got Joe real good and Brittany too.
Yeah.
It might
but I
just
do-
be a bad spot, Jimmy.
It might
I'm gonna
just be a
go
bad
off and
spot,
come
yeah.
back on.
Okay, man. I'll watch for you. That doll, man, is fucking.
There's another one, Joe.
Man, I wish I had access to him right away. I would have brought him in here and showed him to you.
The demon
What is
doll.
that?
She's another one.
Dolls freak
Which
me the
one's
fuck
that?
out, man.
The demon doll.
The
She was
demon
one that
doll.
anytime they took pictures of her, they would get horrible black figures or black lines like this throughout, like black shadow figure, black, figure lines. Yeah. So her history is really cool. I'll actually type up a brief thing on my Instagram with the picture so you guys can see it. Yeah, it's really cool. And I
love that shit. Why do I like that shit so much? I really like that shit.
See, here's the thing. I don't like surprise me scary shit. Like things that like pop out at me. But spiritual evil or otherwise. Like I like that kind of like, I don't know how to like fucking paranormal type of shit. But like jump out of a closet at me and I'll knock you the fuck out. But
so don't go.
Or if you punch through it, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, then
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I got arrested at a haunted house once because there was a fucking casket. There was a casket with a false bottom. So I'm walking by. I was with my girlfriend and a friend of mine. And there's a skeleton in this casket. And as we walk by, this dude shoots up out of the false bottom. Bro, and I just cleaned his clock real quick. Boom. And he went out cold. They turned the fucking lights on. Fucking made a whole big deal out of it. I'm like, dude, I wasn't trying to be a tough guy. You scared the ever-living shit out of me. I'm like, fucking. So I don't do the haunted house thing no more because that shit happens. But
I love that shit. I try to get scared.
Shit, like I'm intrigued.
I'll go with you if you're gonna knock people out. I want to watch.
That's it. That takes me back to horror nights when we would like these poor guys, man. I remember I used to get punched in the face all the time. And
I've never gone.
These poor guys would be like, I'm so sorry. I just got so scared. I never would hit a woman. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's totally fine. Like we would just laugh. Yeah, right. Like, we got him. Hey, we did have some guys that purposely would hit us like on purpose, and they came with a vengeance.
But it's kind of like get out of jail. Like if you ever want to go punch a girl, the horror nights would be the place to do it because you can just say, "Yo, you fucking scared me. I would never hit a woman." And they're like, "Hey, let's go in the Beetlejuice house and punch that bitch behind the mirror." I would never. I was scared, officer. I was terrified. Well, you're gonna have to replace all of her teeth. Yeah, and I do remember. That would happen a lot, like because people get really fucking drunk, Joe, and they go out there and they fuck with the characters, and then there are people that generally really get scared. Yeah. I mean, they've had to stop the houses before because motherfuckers just pass out or start to wet themselves and go into like they have a panic or an anxiety attack and like
it's really bad. Yeah. There's some people like they think they're prepared for it, and then some of these houses they just get them. There in some rooms, and Troy knows too. In some rooms, we would have the distraction from the actual attacker. So they would be so involved in that, and then they'd get attacked and they would collapse on us like confetti.
Yep.
Well, that's what it was because I was so focused on what was happening in front of me, like in the direction I was walking. I wasn't paying attention to what was next to me. And he scared the shit out of me. And that was my reaction.
There's also a lot of characters that get jobs there, Joe, to grab the chicks' asses when they go by too.
Are they hiring?
I know exactly. So I want to. Hey, listen. I think we ought to do.
Oh my God.
We ought to do a David Copperfield house, and you have to go in at your own risk.
I'm not going in that house.
We'll call it the squeeze room.
Squeeze room.
Or the touch and go. Hey, have you guys been in the touch and go? If we could have that, that would be one of the coolest houses ever.
Well, don't forget, back in the day, we used to touch people.
I know. They don't do that anymore. There are still haunted houses where people do that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some that still do that. Universal Studios, you can't touch anybody. Nobody can touch nobody. Anymore. Too much of a liability, but because people get carried away. It's like when you go to a concert and you see a young girl crowd surfing. Listen, man, what the fuck was she thinking?
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, dude! They're gonna turn her into a six-pack and throw her around. I mean, give me a break. What the fuck do people think about all the time? I don't know about that touch skill, but if you're in a real haunted house and something touches you, that intrigues me. Like Jimmy got pushed on, and then something took his shirt and like pulled on it. We had the video of that. I saw it. It was a little kid, and then Jimmy would stand there, and his little shirt wiggled, and I go, "There's a little kid by Jimmy," and then Michael goes, "Yeah, he's sitting right there in the corner." And Jimmy goes, "Was he talking?" He wasn't talking. He like went by you, and then he sat on that little corner shelf piece there, and he just kicked his legs and looked around like we were a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well,
was
when I
weird.
was going through the videos
Yeah, I
and I
didn't.
saw
I didn't
that, it was really
physically
crazy.
see anything. I didn't physically see anything, but I sensed it and I felt things, but I never really saw anything though. So
Yeah,
but it was
Sarah
cool.
just posted what we were talking about. The video of Jimmy's shirt getting tugged was super cool. It was too. Because unless
It's
Jimmy's
really
dick
cool.
was doing magic tricks, that fucking shirt, the way that thing moved around like that, dude,
Hey,
he's
Well,
either
no,
got a
it's-
dick
never
like a
know.
walrus or there was a ghost in there.
Well, and it was funny too because I
I'm going
sat
to ask
there.
Sarah. You can comment on that, Sarah. If it does magic tricks, would you please post it in the comments?
Well, and it was funny too
Be
because I was
nice,
trying
Sarah.
to sit
Be
there and
nice.
I was trying to analyze it too because I was like, okay, did he move a certain way? Does it move like this any other time? And it didn't. And the specific way that it moves, you can tell it was touched. Like his shirt was being tugged on in the same corner in which Troy saw the kid. So
But I'll tell you the
you're
truth,
like,
though. No, he
man.
walked between. Here's the truth. I'll tell you the truth. Oh my Lord. Hold on a second. Let me get through this.
Oh man.
Look at Sarah.
Oh,
Fuck.
what the hell is the matter with your mom, Raven?
Sarah, you're so fucked. This
Holy
is on a
fuck.
public channel. It's on a public channel. Okay.
Go
But
ahead, keep
what I
laughing
did-
out there.
What show were you
The-
on again,
Fuck
Jimmy?
you.
What show was that?
The truth, magic tricks. The truth is,
It's
I
gonna be
didn't
called
see.
Murder Your Fiance.
Snapped, Gator Boys.
Sarah, you're so fucking. I knew it. Maybe I did. That's my fault. I asked her to comment. I shouldn't have done that. But I was going to say, is like,
Oh,
Joe,
my God.
because you weren't the one, we were three there, but to tell you, I didn't see anything touch Jimmy. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
The video got that. I didn't see that.
Oh, wow.
If you were standing, all I saw was what looked like a little kid, like came through the wall. I bet people were like, this motherfucker's high as fuck. I was not.
No.
And so, like, this little kid comes through the wall. He wasn't dressed like, was he wearing Victorian clothes? No, I couldn't see that. He just looked like a
Silhouette.
like a doll with no. There was no, like, you could see features and like an image, but no, like, nothing, no sexual dimorphism, none of that kind of stuff. So and so it just walked by, but he was little. I would say probably 9 or 10 years old would be my guess, if you were to put it to a human. And he walked between Jimmy and Marcia, and they went over and he kind of sat down. And I was like, but on his way through, I guess he grabbed Jimmy's shirt. You'll see the video. And right as the shirt shakes, I go, "There's a kid in the room," because I just saw it right when but I didn't see him touch Jimmy. I just said that because I saw him walk by, and then Jimmy's like, "Does he say something?" He wasn't talking anything. So his trick is that you wouldn't see it. Pull the shirt, as Sarah said. I didn't see it. I knew that. It was hiding. But that was serious though. But Sarah and I were walking, and she had an app thing on her phone, and she'll have to remind me because and we said something, and something clearly said like axe or something to her. If you remember that,
I tried
Sarah,
to-
put it out there.
I tried to download one of those things. Fucking, I forgot.
I'm gonna do that for you, Dan. You just open a book of worms.
I forgot who the dude was, but I want to say his name is Omar or some shit. I don't know. He
Okay.
does these fucking YouTube videos. I met him at Gatorland when I was there one time. He was doing a video with Savannah. But
Okay.
he also supposedly does paranormal shit.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, download this thing onto your phone, and it picks up, all these waves or whatnot." Bro, it said the same like 20 things over and over again. I was pissed
Yeah.
because I paid for it.
You got to be really careful with a lot of these little apps. They're for entertainment purposes only. They're not for real.
Brittany has like real shit that you buy and you let it run. And one time, Jimmy was standing there. We were at a place. I'll go into off the air. So Dan wants me to explain sexual dimorphism between male and female ghosts. Well, it's kind of the same thing. Like you'll see a being come through that almost looks like it's a glowing, but it doesn't have any genitalia swinging around off of it. But it's not wearing clothes. It's not like when Daniel dresses up in his mom's clothes and goes out and parties and stuff. It doesn't look like that. It just looks like a normal, like body shape, but you can kind of tell, feature wise, or if the hair is short or long, you can see that stuff. But it's very, I think you're looking at something with your intuition. So your intuition begins to research your subconscious and you understand something. It's kind of like where you don't know why sometimes you wake up singing a particular song. It's because your subconscious heard it somewhere, whether you were sleeping or you were going through somewhere and you weren't consciously focused, and then you'll be singing a song. So I think you learn to register that way. And then that's how you see it. You kind of see it with your subconscious. So that kind of explains it. Dan, there's no like little wiener hanging off of it or anything nipply. So if that answers your question, I'd like to explain that to him.
Well, and no matter
I'll have to find some drawings of naked ghosts for you, Daniel, and we'll look at them together.
no matter what though, when that, the one thing that we did see that came through that I think is really amazing was truly the almost transparent being that came through that was in a type of fluorescent white that was in its own element of whatever it was.
He didn't like Brittany.
No, not that one though. I'm talking about the one that was next to Jimmy's face that just came in.
Oh my God, I know. That was right there because it was even brighter. Man.
I looked down the hallway because Troy was looking this way. So we were in the hallway this way. Troy was facing left and I looked right, which is the direction Jimmy was standing.
Yep.
And this thing came through the wall, very like translucent and almost like rainbow fluorescent white. It's the weird. I can't describe Troy.
It was like teal light.
So
It was like teal. It was like a teal light. Yep.
Yeah, it was like the weirdest color. And this thing like comes in and like stares at, but it like, if you imagine how like a jellyfish moves, that's how it was like. It was like just seeping like this in the room. And like I looked down, like what is that?
Right in his face, Joe.
And
the person
like right there.
Now I see a lot of shit. They stuck me in a room, and I had a couple spirits come in, and then a pissed off lady came in because two young girls had showed up, and they were fucking around with a dead. You got that whole thing. Do you have that all on film? Remember that girl? She was shut the fuck up. Yeah, you got to see that, Joe. You have a good time.
That whole footage. Yeah,
but when that thing came through, the room at Jimmy, Marcia doesn't see anything. She is extremely closed off. She saw it. She's like, "Oh my God, it's right there!" And she pointed, and it looked down at her, and it was like, and it just went away.
It stayed there for a good long while though, because we're like, "What is that?" And it was looking at Jimmy, and then it was like looking down the hallway at us, and looking back at Jimmy. And
it's almost like it came out of its own realm, Joseph.
Yeah,
and got into this particular physical realm. Now listen, for anybody who's tuning in, that's just all. It's all speculation because I really don't know what the fuck it was. I know that nobody was doing drugs, no hallucinogenics, nobody was eating mushrooms. I mean, it was a completely normal night. And nobody was drinking or anything. So when something like that happens, it's almost like maybe we were crossed over in his realm and he saw us. What the hell are you doing here? And then we saw him, and it was kind of like one of those things. It was just, but he was right at Jimmy. Like he came right to Jimmy's face, and he looked like he was looking in his ear, and then he looked at us. I was like, okay.
See, even when
what are you doing over there, buddy? But I loved it. I loved it. And I liked being upstairs.
Because it was funny, Jimmy goes, "Is he on my right side right now?" And we're like, "Yes," because he's like, "I can't see him, but I feel him." So
yeah, he was pushing. He was pushing through.
Yeah.
But my favorite was these Native Americans that were up in that upstairs bedroom.
I have that on film too. You know what's weird?
There's 3 Indians in the room, dude, and they were like huge.
You know what's weird is the audio when we came out, and you guys remember when we came out to sit in that upstairs spare room while we were waiting on Michael. Michael's audio is so high pitched, out of whack. You can barely pick up what's going on, and it's like crackling and fuzzy.
Okay, so everything. Joseph, let me give you the backstory. So Michael goes back in and talks. Like what he does is he goes back in and talks to those spirits about why someone's there or who's there and why, and there's no to try to keep it calm so that they don't get up restless. And so when he went back in, like he pulled us out because I'm like, the room is crooked to me. It's crooked right now, and there's a lot of people in here. There were like 12 people in there, but there were only 3 mortal people in there, right? Or 4. But there were like 13 people, and I'm like, there's 2 Indians over here. And then something touched me, and I almost fell on the floor. Whatever went through that lady hit me, and I was so overwhelmed. It's
That's like on footage too.
It's like when you stand up too fast, Joseph, like you're down and you stand up, and you're like, it just happened to me like that, and I was going to go down. And then Marsha got sick. So I was looking across the room, and I looked at Michael, and I said, "Michael, the room has went." And he goes, "Yeah, just like Beetlejuice." I'm like, "Yep, exactly." Now he was perfectly straight, but the room like really went, which was really cool. It really went to the side, and it got Marsha. So she got into that thing, kept going around Jimmy and going back to her, and going around Jimmy and going back to her. And when she got out, she was really sick. She was super sick. Now we're talking about this is not an idiot human. This is a person that is extremely successful, has her own TV show, owns a $6 million dog rescue center, legitimate person, not a wackadoodle that lives in a trailer down by the river. We're talking about a legitimate person that's a smart, logical person went through that. And so when that stuff happens, now you know that there's something there. And I think she opened up a little bit, and it was just so much at one time it made her sick.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go,
but as
Joe.
soon as
I
she
got to
got
go. You
out-
got to go with us one time. You'll see what I mean.
Let me know when.
And I think because like Jimmy's
Jimmy just
open and you're
froze.
open, Sarah's open, everybody's open. I think that when you're open to it, you begin to understand it. And if you just listen, people will explain what they're saying. You'll see it. You'll already or
Jimmy's
what you've already
gone.
seen, so you get to understand. He'll come back. He probably got kicked off signal wise, but that's what I mean. And I think you should see it, Joseph. It's awesome.
Well, and I think
I'm sure people are trying to make fun of shit, but it's like, dude, it's like this roller coaster, bro.
the cool thing is though, is when you are open to it, you have a lot of that open energy that's flowing between each of you. So when you have that positive energy already flowing open, when you're in an investigation and you're not scared of what you're respectively scared, like there's a slight fear because it's the unknown, but you're curious. So you want the truth, like you want to have an experience and you want to have a genuine experience. And so when you have that openness, and I think if you just allow yourself to consciously open and just take a breath, those experiences can and will happen, and you'll have a better understanding because you're patient with it. And so like when Troy and I go with like Jimmy and Sarah or whatever, and Katie and everybody, like when we're all together and we do it,
I got to close it anyway, Sarah.
everybody's very open and ready, and nobody freaks out. Like nobody has like a freak out moment. Like, oh my God, I can't take it. Like nobody acts that way. So
Yeah.
you're not, the element
So-
of isn't there. It's just very calm. And I think that helps a lot.
We're 5 minutes into the hour and I have to leave. And so what we're going to do is I appreciate everybody coming out. We're going to have to pick this up again next week. So I'll bring everybody back in. We'll get some more experiences. And maybe I'll catch up with Joe before then and we'll go do something fun. We'll find something crazy. Take Ricky with us. We'll have a good time and have a fun story.
And
But I
don't
wanna
forget, we are
appreciate-
going to be doing WTF tours. We are getting those ready to go too.
Yep, we'll be
So-
doing those paranormal tours. I'm going to be excited about that. Real places. So I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I appreciate you coming on, Joe, Jimmy. If you're still listening,
Sure.
I'm glad you're here. Brittany, thank you again for coming. Everybody that came in and threw some comments in, and everybody out there, thanks for supporting the Croc Show. We have a good time with you. We're here to laugh and have fun. We appreciate you. You all have a great night, and